All praises to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and peace to everyone joining me on this program. This is the Fountain of Israel's Bible Studies program, and as always, it's an honor for me to stand before you on the Lord's holy Sabbath day. Now, today we're going to have a two-parter. It's a two-part lesson. This is part one of our two-part lesson, and this is a rebellious nation, Israel, a rebellious nation. Now, I want to talk about this because we talk about back in, Black History Month and all that. We talk about, the curling and curses and things like that. But I want to talk to you about the fact that rebellion is the cause of all of it. Rebellion. And throughout our history, our history of our ancestors, throughout that history, they've been known for just being rebellious. And we're rebellious even today. And I know sometimes, being obedient and trying to walk this thing out, it can be tough. It can be challenging. It can be taxing. It really can. But we know we're doing this for a greater reward. We have to do our best to strive to enter in. We're doing this for the ultimate reward, which is immortality and access into the kingdom, communion with the Father and the Son. Righteousness and peace breaks out. So we have a particular expectation, right? You're not doing it for nothing. You're doing it for a particular expectation. But sometimes we cannot deny our flesh. We cannot delay gratification. We cannot make a sacrifice, which is simply giving up something you want for something else you want more. We have to give up some of these earthly pleasures. And it's hard. No one's telling you it's easy. No one is saying that it's easy. I'm certainly not. I'm not telling you it's easy. I'm just telling you that it's worth it. Otherwise, why do any of this? But our history is replete with examples and examples and examples of rebellion. And something has to change. So with that, without any further ado, let me go ahead and jump right into the scriptures here for you. And we maybe do a little bit of back and forth. We may read a little bit from the King James, and every now and then may read from the Scriptures version. So bear with me, brothers and sisters. Israel, a rebellious nation, the Scriptures version, part of it at least, will be Romans 15, 1 through 4. Okay? In the King James, it says, "We then that are strong ought to bear the infirmities of the weak and not to please ourselves. Let every one of us please his neighbor for his good to edification. For even Christ pleased not himself, but, as it is written, the reproaches of them that reproach thee fell on me. For whatsoever things are written aforetime were written for our learning, that we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope." Okay, so we're doing things, and when we do these things, for instance, obviously some of us have family, and those who are trying to walk with us, we're trying to lead by example. We're trying to show them the way. We're trying to teach them, and the point is to build one another up. Some of us, some other people are weak, but you want to help them. Okay, you want to have patience when we're working with other people, right, who are trying to walk out this faith, right? No, without being too quick to condemn someone. Okay. So it says, "And you let every one of us please his neighbor for his good and edification." Again, like I said, we're trying to build each other up, right? So we're going to look at it a little bit from the Scriptures version, right? Same thing, Romans 15. First 4 verses. "But we who are strong ought to bear with the failings of the weak and not to please ourselves. Let each one of us please his neighbor for his good to build him up." Edification means to build up, right? To build him up. "For even the Messiah did not please himself, but, as it has been written, the reproaches of those who reproach you fell upon me." In verse 4, "For whatever was written before," or aforetimes, whatever was written before, was written for our instruction, that through endurance and encouragement of the scriptures, we might have the expectation. We might have the expectation. And how we're going to get that? Through the scriptures, right? To everything that was written before time, the scriptures, written for our instruction, and through endurance, don't give up because it gets hard, through endurance and encouragement of the scriptures, we might have hope, or we may have expectation. Okay, because that's what hope is biblically. It's an expectation. Only if we endure, meaning we keep walking in it. Right? So I'm going to encourage you to keep walking in it. So now we're going to go to Jeremiah 17. We're going to go to Jeremiah 17. And when I get to Jeremiah, Isaiah, then we got Jeremiah. We're going to go to 17. That's in the scriptures, but let me read it in the King James first. So we're going to read the first 5 verses, and then I skip down to verse 7. And it reads, "The sin of Judah is written with a pen of iron and with the point of a diamond. It is graven upon the table of their heart and upon the horns of your altars. Whilst their children remember their altars and their groves by the green trees upon the high hills. O my mountain in the field, I will give thy substance and thy treasures to the spoil, and thy high places for sin throughout all thy borders. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine inheritance that I gave thee. And I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. Thus says the Lord, cursed be the man that trusted in man, and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departed from the Lord." And I'll drop down to verse 7. "And blessed is the man that trusted in the Lord, and whose hope the Lord is." Now next I'll read it from the scriptures version, but just let that soak in a little bit, brothers and sisters. Just let that soak in a little bit. And he started with the sins of Judah, right? It's like it's permanent. He says it's written with, it's written with a pen of iron and with a diamond tip pen. Okay, it's an iron pen with a diamond tip, right? It's written in there. That sounds kind of permanent right there. It's graven upon the tablet of the heart. It's stuck in our heart. This sin, okay, this rebellion, okay? And then while their children remember their altars and their groves by the green trees upon the high hills, okay? So all of this, their children are going to remember that the children are going to do the same thing. I mean, we teach our children rebellion. We show them how to rebel. When we rebel, when we claim we're, one thing, we're Israelite, we observe the law, stuff like that. But we don't. It's in word only. So tell me something. If you say you're Israelite, and one of the differences that an Israelite from a Christian is that the Israelite takes the scriptures literally. It is a guidebook, right? It is instruction. It is our law. It's our culture, right? And then a Christian is just a book, got a couple of good stories in there, and have some good principles that we should follow, whatever. But no laws, no law, no order, whatever. We can talk about it, but we won't be about it. Okay, so that's kind of the difference between the two. Now, if you don't do any of these things, don't observe any of these laws whatsoever, how are you any different than a Sunday Christian? Now again, I come from that. I come from Christianity, okay? So I'm not trying to necessarily bash them. I'm just questioning us, okay? I got other lessons where I go hard against Christians, right? This is not one of them. But my thing is, if you maintain a rebellious nature, okay? If you're one of those who say, the law is done away with or whatever, if you have that attitude, even if you don't say the words, even if you have that attitude, aren't you rebellious? Aren't you rebellious against the will of Yah? Right? So, I'm going to look at it a little bit. Jeremiah 17, first 5 verses. It says, "The sin of Yehuda is written with the pen of iron, engraved with the point of a diamond on the tablet of their heart, and on the horns of their slaughter places," right? So this is their places of worship, right? In their churches and stuff, right? "While their children remember their slaughter places," their churches, right? Or the place where they sacrifice, a slaughter place, right? "And their hasharim by the spreading trees on the high hills. My mountain in the field I give as plunder your wealth, all your treasures, your high places of sin throughout all your borders. And you, even of yourself, shall let go of your inheritance, which I gave you." What's your inheritance? Your language, your culture, your law, statutes, and commandment, your land, You see, all your customs, all those things that made you Hebrew, you're gonna you're gonna lose all that. And did not Israel, the true Israelites, lose all that? Did we not lose our language, lose our land, lose our custom? You know, we lost everything. Is that not true? He said it would happen. He said all these, these slaughter places, all these houses of worship. How many of these churches, the church on every corner, right? That talk about the Bible, but they don't live it, they don't do it, they don't practice it. They just talk about it. Just talk about it. 4, and you, even of yourself, shall let go of your inheritance, which I gave you, and I shall make you serve your enemies in a land which you have not known, for you have kindled a fire in my displeasure, which burns forever. Was Israel spread throughout all the nations? Yes or yes. Okay. And are they serving their enemies in a land they did not know? Are you serving your enemies in your land? The one that, was promised to Abraham? Are you in that land? I didn't think so. So all this is coming true and is still unfolding, right? So let's go. Verse 5. It says, "Thus says Yahweh, cursed is the man who trusts in man and makes flesh his arm, his protection." His human. It's just a human thing, right? And whose heart turns away from Yah. Okay, verse 7. "Blessed is the man who trusts in Yah and whose trust is Yah." Okay, it's a tetragrammaton, guys. So some people say Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahuwah. People say different things. I just usually shorten it to Yah because that's the part that everyone agrees on. Okay, so I just shorten it. So, but this is what we have to deal with. We see this evidence. We see this played out. We do. I mean, we see it played out. The church, the Sunday church, are they really serving Yah? I mean, as according to the Bible, are they serving Yah? I know they have a Sunday service, but are they serving? All right. Do you look like that? Right. It comes down to us really trying to get in here and just not be rebellious. Now, does that mean that you have to go to church and you're automatically going to have salvation and all that other stuff? We know that's not true. We know that it don't work like that. We know that. Serving him, you can do it by yourself. I'm not saying to forsake the gathering of ourselves one to another. I'm not saying that. Okay, gather together, get together here online, go into a class. Get together. I'm not saying don't do it. But what I'm saying is that going to a church or getting together isn't automatic salvation. That's what I'm saying. Okay? What I'm saying is that we have to internalize this. We have to put this on our hearts so that we're not a rebellious people. We have to circumcise the foreskin of our hearts. Okay? Let's keep it going. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and go to Isaiah 65. Yeah, let's go to Isaiah 65. We're going to look at that. And we're going to read the first 5 verses. Isaiah 65 and the first 5 verses in the King James. Let's see what it reads. "I am sought of them that asked not for me. I am found of them that sought me not. I said, behold me, unto a nation that was not called by my name. I have spread out my arms all the day unto a rebellious people, which walketh in a way that was not good after their own thoughts. A people that provoke me to anger continually to my face, that sacrifice in gardens and burn incense upon altars of brick, which remain among the graves and lodge in the monuments, which eat swine's flesh and broth of abominable things is in their vessels. Which say, stand by thyself, come not near to me, for I am holier than thou. These are smoke in my nose, a fire that burneth all the day." He's just describing some rebellious people. People who actually think they're holy. Who actually think that they're holy. Oh, you can't tell me anything. What are you talking about? I'm holy. Don't get away from me. And yet the Most High is irritated. It's a smoke in his nose. People. We can't be like that. We cannot be like that haughty, that arrogant, that prideful. What are we doing? We're going to look at it in the scriptures real quick. And like I said, I won't go to scriptures all of them. I just want to do some of it so you guys can go just a little bit deeper in comprehension, right? So 65, and I'm going to read the first 5 verses. Let's look at it. It says, I have let myself be inquired of, not by those who ask. I was found, not by those who sought me. I said, here I am, to a nation not calling on my name. Right? That's how he found Israel, right? I have held out my hands all day long to a stubborn people who walk in a way that is not good, after their own thoughts. The people that provoke me continually to my face, who slaughter in gardens and burn incense on slaughter places of bricks. Okay? Look at what he says. I held out to rebellious people who walk in their own way that is not good, after their own thoughts. Okay, your truth is my truth, and your truth is your truth, and my truth is my truth. And no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't work like that. No, the Bible is true. Let Yah be true, and every man a liar. Right? We have to go here line by line. This is what we have to do. That's the truth. Okay? When Pilate asked, what is truth? When he asked Yeshua, what is truth? Okay? Right here, the scriptures, that's truth. Okay? They have that after their own thoughts, right? And they say in verse 5, it says, who say, keep to yourself and do not come near me, for I am set apart to you. I'm holier than thou. What are you talking about? I've been in this faith for X amount of years, and da-da-da. What do you know? And da-da-da. And it don't take all that. You being too serious, and you need to calm down. You don't understand. Yeah? You see what I'm saying? This is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. People are out there, and they think that they're actually obeying the Most High. And in fact, they are rebellious. See, you and I, we have to have the wherewithal to be able to reflect on ourselves. We need to be Am I being rebellious? Am I listening to the Most High? Am I obeying that? Is this something I'm pushing off? As I said at the top of this lesson, we all slip and fall. Every now and again, we can't make a practice of it, but we all, we fall 6 times, get up 7. We're going to keep it going. Let's go ahead and keep it going. We're going to go to Isaiah. Let's go to Isaiah 30. Go to Isaiah 30. Let's just do the first 3 verses. Okay? First 3 verses of Isaiah 30. It says, woe to the rebellious children, says the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down in Egypt and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. He was saying, why are you trusting in man? Why are you trusting in slavery? Why are you trusting in Egypt? Why are you trusting in America? Why are you trusting this matrix? Why aren't you trusting? Why are you not trusting me? Why are you not asking me? He's saying, I'm right here. Ask me, ask your pastor, ask your moreh or your teacher, search the scriptures. But why aren't you doing that? I made this available to you. Why are you trusting in everything else except me? Again, why are you rebelling against me? Is what Yah is saying. Why are you doing that? This is what he's asking. Isaiah 30, 1 through 3. Woe to the stubborn children, declares Yah, to make counsel but not from me, and to devise plans but not of my spirit, in order to add sin to sin. They're just going to keep sinning more and more and more and more. You get one dumb plan that's laden with sin. And you get a second double plan that is replete with sin. And then you get a third, it's just sin to sin to sin. Because you're not even asking his counsel. You're not searching his scriptures. You're not checking with your more. You're not checking with your pastor. Someone to help guide you. If you don't do it yourself, you can't find it yourself, then definitely get with your more. Ask the questions. Have trust in this. Don't lose heart. Trust in him is what I mean by this. Trust in his way. Trust in Yah's judgment. If he is indeed our Heavenly Father, if Yeshua is our Mashiach, shouldn't we trust him? Wouldn't he knows what's best for us in this life and in the next? Yes. He said, who are setting out to go down to Mitzrayim and have not asked my mouth, to be strengthened in the strength of Pharaoh, and to seek refuge in the shadow of Mitzrayim. And the strength of Pharaoh shall become your shame, and the refuge in the shadow of Mitzrayim your confusion. All that stuff. See, it's going to be all confusion. You trusting in the Matrix. You trusting in America. You trusting in Babylon. You trusting in Egypt. You trusting in all this is going to be your confusion and your downfall, because you don't want to ask the Most High. Y'all's like, you don't want to ask me. You want to go everywhere else, but come to the source when you want wisdom. You want to rebel against that. Brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters. We've got to get it together, yes? Jeremiah. Let's go to Jeremiah now. Get to Jeremiah. I want to get... Actually, chapter 6. I'm just going to start at 25. Chapter 6, we're going to read 25 through 28. Go not forth into the field, nor walk by the way, for the sword of the enemy and fear is on every side. O daughter of my people, gird thee with sackcloth, and wallow thyself in the ashes. Make thee mourning as for an only son. Most bitter lamentation. For the spoiler shall suddenly come upon us. And I have set thee for a tower and a fortress among my people, that thou mayest know and try their way. They are all grievous revolters, walking with slander. They are brass and iron. They are all corrupters. It's going to be hard. It's going to be very, very difficult. But let's look at it. Go not forth into the field, or north by the way, for the enemy, you're going to get killed on every side. There's danger, tragedy on every side. Okay, it's basically what he's saying. O daughter of my people, gird thee with sackcloth and swallow thyself in ashes. Meaning this is mourning. It's time for sadness, lamentation, crying, weeping, and tears. Because in the next, it's going to be hard. Let's continue. Let's go on over to Deuteronomy 9. We're going to go ahead and go to Deuteronomy 9. Okay, we're going to go to Deuteronomy 9. Or Dabarim 9. And I'm going to read actually the first 7 verses in Dabarim or Deuteronomy 9. Hear, O Israel, that are to pass over the Jordan this day, to go in to possess nations greater and mightier than thyself, cities great and fenced up to heaven, a people great and tall, the children of the Anakims, who thou knowest and of whom thou hast heard say, who can stand before the children of Anak, right? Big, strong people, right? Understand therefore this day that the Lord thy God is he which goeth over before thee. As a consuming fire he shall destroy them, and he shall bring them down before thy face. So shalt thou drive them out and destroy them quickly, as the Lord has said unto thee. Speak not thou in thy heart after that the Lord thy God has cast them out from before thee, saying, for my righteousness of the Lord has brought me in to possess this land, but for the wickedness of those nations the Lord does drive them out from before you. Right? Not because you're so great, right? That's what he's saying. Don't say because you're so great. Not for thy righteousness or for the uprightness of thy heart dost thou go to possess their land, but for the wickedness of these nations the Lord does drive them out from before thee, and that he may perform the word which the Lord swear unto thy father Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Understand, therefore, that the Lord thy God giveth thee not this good land to possess it for thy righteousness, for thou art a stiff-necked people. He said, I'm not giving it to you because you're so great. Oh, you're stubborn. You're stubborn. That's what stiff-necked. You're stubborn. So, I'm not giving you for that. I'm just going to keep my promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Verse 7. Remember and forget not how thou provokest the Lord thy God to wrath in the wilderness, from the day that thou didst depart out of the land of Egypt, until ye came unto this land. Ye have been rebellious against the Lord. Right? You're not so great. You don't think that you're that great. Okay? And the reason, look, brothers and sisters, the reason why I'm doing the lesson is because I want to humble us, right? Humbling myself, humbling you, humbling myself, just humbling ourselves. Looking at our ancestors. These people used to be alive one day. These people who breathed the same air, walked the same earth that you do, was warmed by the same sun. I'm trying to connect you to your past. I'm trying to connect us to our past and our ancestors, that these people had the same proclivities, the same propensity that we did, the same inclinations. They're human just like us. And I don't want our base desires to become a snare unto us, that we remain a rebellious people. Why? Why must we remain a rebellious people? To do that means we will suffer. That means you will suffer. That means our children will suffer. That means this cycle continues. The cycle of depravity, these curses, all these things will continue unless we stop rebelling. You resist the Most High, you resist His Ruach, which is supposed to bring you into all truth, which is supposed to strengthen you and gird you up. And yet you're rebelling. So why would He continue to communicate with you, continue to send His Spirit, His Ruach, to help you? Why would He continue to deal with any of us if we have no intention of changing, of turning towards Him? Why would He do it? Let's continue. Let's try. You know what? Let's try Deuteronomy 9, 1 through 7. Same thing. I'm just giving it to you again for just a deeper understanding. Hear, O Yisrael, you are passing over the Jordan today to go in to dispossess nations greater and stronger than yourselves, cities great and walled up to the heavens, a people great and tall, the descendants of the Anakim, whom you know and of whom you've heard it said, who does stand before the descendants of Anak. And you shall know today that Yah, your Elohim, is He who is passing over before you as a consuming fire. He does destroy them and subdue them before you. So you shall not dispossess them and destroy them quickly, as Yah has said to you. Do not think in your heart after Yah, your Elohim, had driven them out before you, saying, because of my righteousness, Yah has brought me in to possess this land. But it is because of the wrong of these nations that Yah is driving them out from before you. Watch this. It says, it is not because of your righteousness or your uprightness of your heart that you go in to possess the land. But because of the wrong of these nations, that Yah, your Elohim, drives them out from before you, in order to establish the word which Yah swore unto your fathers, to Abraham, to Ishak, and to Yaakov. And you will know that Yah, your Elohim, is not giving you this good land to possess because of your righteousness, for you are a stiff-necked people. Remember, do not forget how you provoked the wrath of Yah, your Elohim, in the wilderness from the day that you came out of the land of Mizraim until you came to this place. You have been rebellious against Yah. See, he said this like 3 different times. He 3 different times and said the same thing. It's not because you're so good. It's not because you're so righteous. Not because you're so upright. Not because you're so special. Not because you're so great. I'm just doing it because 2 reasons. The other nation is very wicked, and I made a promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But you, remember how you rebelled against me in the wilderness? Yeah, I remember that. How you provoked me? Yeah, I remember. Oh, you're stiff-necked people. That's what the Most High is saying. I want to bring these types of things to our remembrance, to our consciousness. I need some of this to be top of mind. So when you want to go astray, you can recall some of these things and be like, wait, whoa, I'm being rebellious. I need to relax. I better chill because yeah. Let's go to Numbers. Okay. Let's go on over to Numbers. And let's see, chapter 16 of Numbers, or Bamikbah. Okay. Bamikbah, Numbers 16. When we get there, we're going to read, let's see here. Oh, we're going to read a lot of this one. We're going to read a lot of this one. Okay, it's going to be 1 through 5, then we'll jump to 8, right? So let's look at a little bit of this. Now watch this. Rebellious people. Rebellious people. Now watch this. Not Korah, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan, and Abiram, the sons of Eliab and On, the son of Pelet, sons of Reuben, took men. Okay? And they rose up before Moses with certain of the number of children, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown. And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, you take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Wherefore, then lift ye up yourselves above the congregation of the Lord. Now, when he says you take too much upon you, today is like people saying, who do you think you are? Right? Translation. And he says in verse 4, he says, and when Moses heard it, he fell upon his face, right? Now, not because he was scared. Okay, it's not because he was scared. He's just like, oh, here we go. All right. Watch this. Verse 5, he says, and he spoke unto Korah and all his company, saying, even to tomorrow the Lord will show who are his and who is holy, and will cause him to come near unto him. Even him who he has chosen will he cause to come near unto him. Okay, now we're going to drop down to verse 8. And Moses, or Moshe, said unto Korah, hear, I pray you, ye sons of Levi. Seemeth it but a small thing unto you that the God of Israel has separated you from the congregation of Israel to bring you near to himself, to do the services of the tabernacles of the Lord, and to stand before the congregation to minister unto him? Do you think that's no big deal, right? You have the office of the priesthood and you think that's no big deal? I mean, that's not enough for you? That you make these sacrifices for all of Israel. You're doing the service of the Lord. Okay. On behalf of all of Israel. But okay. All right. In verse 10, he said, and he has brought thee near to him, and all thy brethren, the sons of Levi, with thee, and seek ye the priesthood also? Like you want more. You want to go. Okay. For which cause both thou and all thy company are gathered together against the Lord. And what is Aaron that you murmur against him? Like, what's the deal with Aaron? Aaron, he's Levi too. I mean, you sons of Levi. Oh, okay. It says, And Moses sent to call Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, which said, we will not come up. Okay, all right. He wanted them to come, but they didn't want to come, guys. 13, he says, is it a small thing that thou hast brought us up out of the land that floweth with milk and honey? Okay, it's just kind of an idiom. It's like just a fertile land, right? To kill us in the wilderness, except thou make thyself altogether a prince over there. Say, well, you know, you bring us out of this fertile land, okay? You bring us over here to get us killed. You're not really, they're basically complaining, you're not taking care of us, to get us killed, and now you want to make yourself a big shot among us. You want to make yourself our leader and stuff. This is backbiting, murmuring, rebellion. Okay? Okay, so, moreover, thou hast not brought us into a land that floweth with milk and honey, or given us inheritance of fields and vineyards, which thou put out the eyes of these men. We will not come up and say, you ain't give us anything. You ain't kept your word. You know, you said you're going to give us a land full of milk and honey, but we were in a land flowing with milk and honey. Talking about like way back in Egypt. This is slave mentality, right? And Moses was very wroth. Told you he wasn't scared. And said unto the Lord, respect not their offering. I have not taken one ass from them, neither have I heard one of them say, I have done nothing wrong from them, Lord. Don't even listen to them. Don't take their offering, their sacrifice. Don't even listen to them, Lord, because I did nothing to them, to none of them, right? And Moses said unto Korah, be thou and all thy company before the Lord, thou and they and Aaron tomorrow. He said, all right, everybody come up tomorrow. And take every man his censer and put incense in them, and bring ye before the Lord every man his censer, 250 censers, thou also and Aaron, each of you his censer. And they took every man his censer and put fire in them and laid incense thereon, and stood in the door of the tabernacle of the congregation with Moshe and Aaron. And Korah gathered all the congregation against them unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the glory of the Lord appeared unto all the congregation. And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, see, that's a problem right there. Look who he spoke to. So that's the problem right there if you're in the company with Korah. Separate yourselves from among this congregation, that I may consume them in a moment. Uh-oh, Houston. Okay. And 22, and they fell upon their faces and said, O God, the God of the spirits of all flesh, shall one man sin, and will thou be wroth with all the congregation? See, they're still pleading their cause, These are righteous men, still pleading their cause for these rebellious, for these people who stood in their face and talk about, who do you think you are? Why are you the leader over us? You brought us out here to die, right? All that stuff. You know, the Lord deals with us too. You know, he talks to us too. Well, it looked like he's talking to Moses and Aaron to me, but okay. So, and he said, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the congregation, saying, get ye up from about the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. And Moses rose up and went unto Dathan and Abiram, and the elders of Israel followed him. And he spake unto the congregation, saying, depart, I pray you, from the tents of these wicked men, and touch nothing of theirs, lest ye be consumed in all their sins, right? So he's trying to save them, because he already know it's over for Korah. So they got up from the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan and Abiram, and on every side. And Dathan and Abiram came out and stood in the doors of their tents, and their wives and their sons and their little children. And Moses said, hereby ye shall know that the Lord has sent me to do all these works, for I have not done them of my own mind. I didn't decide to do this. The Most High told me to do these things, right? If these men die the common death of all men, or if they be visited after the visitation of all men, then the Lord has not sent me. So if they die like everybody else, not some unique way, right? They just die like everybody else in a common way, like everybody else die, then the Lord has not sent me. This is what Moses is saying. Then the Lord has not sent me. Right? Tomorrow, okay? This is a bold prophecy, right? This is bold, right? And he says, in 30, but if the Lord make a new thing, and the earth open her mouth, so he's prophesying exactly how they're going to die, right? Open her mouth and swallow them up with all that appertain unto them. And they go down quick into the pit. Then ye shall understand that these men have provoked the Lord, right? He said, if that happens. And it came to pass, as he had made an end of speaking of all these words, the ground clave asunder that was under them. So not tomorrow, but, right now. Sorry. and was under them, right? And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up, and their houses, and all the men that appertain unto Korah, everybody who's riding with Korah, right? And all their goods, everything. They and all that appertained to them went down alive into the pit, and the earth closed upon them, and they perished from among the congregation. And all Israel that were round about them fled at the cry of them, for they said, lest the earth swallow us up also. They were scared, and rightfully so. And there came out a fire from the Lord and consumed the 250 men that offered incense. Because they thought they had it figured out. They thought it was sweet. They thought it was okay. Everything's fine. The Lord is with us too. Who made you boss? See, the first clue should have been when the Most High is speaking, and he's not speaking to you, but speaking to the other ones. He's speaking to Moses and Aaron, not rebuking them, not angry with them, just telling them, hold my beer. Guys, we got we got to be very careful of that rebellious nature. We got to be very careful. We always got to be humble. Study, show ourselves approved. Stay humble. The Most High resists the proud. He exalts the humble. Stay humble. So that you can always get guidance in this world. That you can always, get an answer. You can always seek his face. You can always go to him in prayer. You can always get some clarity over time. That he's always dealing with you. That he's always patient with you. He resists the proud. Don't be rebellious. Don't be proud. Stay humble. And when he tells you to do something, do it. Then he'll keep dealing with you. The more you resist, after a while, he's going to be like, okay, I'm done. There's a time where probation closes. Don't worry, I got a lesson on that too. People keep thinking, oh, he's just long suffering, just goes on forever. I can show you times where he gave up. He's like, okay, I'm done. I'm done. It's over. I can show you multiple places where he's like, nope. Okay, I'm good. You don't want to listen? Okay, I'm done. Brothers and sisters, let's do this. Let's keep this in mind, brothers and sisters. All right. Jeremiah chapter 2. We're going to start in verse 22. Jeremiah 2:22. For though thou wash thee with nitre, and take thee much soap, yet thine iniquity is marked before me, said the Lord God. How canst thou say, I'm not polluted, and have not done after Baalim? See thy way in the valley, know that thou hast done. Thou art a swift dromedary, traversing her ways. A wild ass used to the wilderness, that snuffed up the wind at her pleasure. In her occasion, who can turn her away? All they that seek her will not weary themselves. In her mouth they shall find her. Withhold thy foot from being unshod, and thy throat from thirst. But thou sayest, there is no hope. No, for I have loved the strangers, and after them I will go. As a thief is ashamed when he is found, so is the house of Israel ashamed. They, their kings, their princes, and their priests, and their prophets. Saying, to a stock, thou art my father, and to a stone thou hast brought me forth. For they have turned their back unto me, and not their face. But in the time of their trouble, they will say, arise and save us. But where are thy gods that thou hast made thee? Let them arise, if they can save thee in the time of thy trouble. For according to the number of thy cities are thy gods, O Judah. Wherefore will you plead with me? Ye all have transgressed against me, says the Lord. He says, see, I see what you did. That's what the Most High is saying. He said, okay, I see what you did. See, you ignored me. You turned your back against me, not your face. Okay, you're not facing me. You're supposed to seek my face. We're supposed to look at each other. We're supposed to pray, right? You're supposed to lift up holy hands. You're supposed to turn your eyes towards the heavens. You're supposed to bend your knee and pray. You're supposed to plead. But no, that's not what you did. No, you built yourself your own gods. You built yourself your own idols, including idols of your own mind, of your own volition. You did this of your own volition. And then when the time of trouble comes, then you want to cry to me. You're going to cry to me, oh, save us. Come on, God. God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, save us. And I'm going to say, get those other guys. Get those guys you made for yourself to save you. What are you crying to me for now? Go get them to save you. He said, you all rebel against me. Saying to the stock, what they do, they'll carve out a statue or something, right? You can carve it out of stone, carve it out of wood. And you make that your God. You have little wooden little crosses, little wooden idols and all that. You make that your God. You pray to that. Why are you calling me? That's who you wanted? You see why he said his wives, Israel and Judah, went cheating, committing adultery with other gods? You see why he says that? He said, you went over there and did that. Judah. Say, why? Don't call me now. Don't call me now. Let's go on over to Ezekiel. Let's go on over to Ezekiel. I'm just pointing out rebellion. I want to put this mirror in front of your face. That way you can do something about it. And even if it just simply means you not becoming rebellious. I want us to do something about it. Okay? As I'm pouring into you guys, I'm taking a drink too. As I'm pouring into you, I'm taking a drink too. Okay? Ezekiel chapter 2. We're going to start at verse 1. Ezekiel chapter 2, verse 1. As he said unto me, Son of man, stand upon thy feet, and I will speak unto thee. And the Spirit into me when he spake unto me, and set me upon my feet, that I heard him that spoke unto me. And he said unto me, Son of man, I send thee to the children of Israel, to a rebellious nation that has rebelled against me. They and their fathers have transgressed against me, even unto this very day. For they are an impudent children and stiff-hearted. I do send thee unto them, and thou shalt say unto them, Thus said the Lord God. Then they, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are a rebellious house, yet shall know that there has been a prophet among them. And thou, son of man, be not afraid of them, neither be afraid of their words. Through briars and thorns be with thee, and thou dost dwell among scorpions, and be not afraid of their words, nor be dismayed at their looks, though they be a rebellious house. Let me just pause right there for a second. Let's pause to note. I resemble this scripture sometime, because sometimes when I teach a topic, you can go back into the archives. Sometimes when I teach a topic, I get a lot of pushback, right? I get a lot of pushback. I get a lot of people upset. They don't like certain things. Brother, I was with you, but I don't like this and stuff like that, right? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not claiming to know everything, right? I do claim that I study the Bible, but I'm not claiming to know everything. However, I can be corrected, okay? I can be, and I'm willing to be, but you have to come with scripture. You have to come with exegesis. You have to come with the research. You have to show me, and I don't mind changing my position. I have no problem with that. I'll change my position if I'm wrong. I repent. I'll change my position. I'll even come on camera and teach a lesson with a brand new understanding. I would do that. I'm willing to do that. Okay? Now, I said all that to say this. I get a lot of pushback from some of the lessons that I put in there, that I put together, and they're just like, "Oh, I don't know, no, brother, you're crazy. It's this and that." No, a lot. It's not. I do get some from Israel. I do. I get some from Israel, but a lot of times I get some from maybe a Sunday Christian that stumble upon a lesson or whatever, because maybe the topic, the title may have caught their attention. And they're just like, oh, no, it's not about that. No, you don't have to do that. No, you're putting us under bondage. No, don't. Yeah. It's all that. It don't take all that. No, we're living in the New Testament. All that other stuff. Then we have some of my own brethren, okay? They may have a different idea as well. They may have a different idea on a particular topic. They don't like it. They'll rebel against that. They're like, oh, no. And just maybe, maybe just some name calling. Maybe like, brother, you're unlearned. Brother, you can't do this. Brother, you don't know. You don't understand. See, brother, what you got to understand. All that stuff, right? That's what they come. So I get used to it. But see, the difference is, now, let's just say for a second, I am right about a topic, right? Just for a second. If I'm right about a topic, I'm teaching because this is what the Most High have put forth to me, for me to teach. I'm teaching out of the scriptures. I'm doing it line by line, not taking anything out of context, not abusing the scriptures, not twisting them to suit my own needs. I'm of a person who I don't care what it says. I just want to know the truth of it, right? There's a lot of topics. A lot of you guys already know that. You get the Israel only, and you got polygyny, and you got the dietary law. You got all these different topics that triggers people, upsets people. What is his name? All that stuff, right? Old Testament, New Testament. You have all that. A lot of battles out there. Lot of battles. Okay, and so you're gonna come. So I'm definitely gonna come into something like this when he says, and he said unto me, son of man, I send you to these children of Israel, to a rebellious nation that have rebelled against me. They and their fathers have transgressed against me, even unto this day, and even unto this day. Right? For they are the impudent children and stiff neck, and I do send thee unto them, and thou shall say unto them, thus said the Lord. Now watch this. It said, now, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear, for they are a rebellious house. Whether they'll listen or not, I'll teach it whether someone will listen or not. Believe me, I have brothers that I build with, study with, and we allow ourselves to be corrected. We allow our positions to be challenged. It's just that some people seek vainglory in doing so. Sometimes they want to go back and forth in the comment section and just teach whole lessons. And a lot of times I simply tell people when I respond, I don't respond to everybody, but when I do respond, I would just say, well, why don't you teach a lesson, put it on YouTube so we can all watch it. Because it's kind of like, to me, the way I see it, it's kind of like a movie critic, right? Didn't direct anything, didn't write anything, didn't screenplay anything, didn't cast anybody, didn't do any of that, but they're just criticizing work someone else has done. You guys see where I'm going with this? So I always say, just go to your channel, teach it. We can go over there and look. But a lot of times people like to teach anonymously. And I'm not comfortable with that. I had many people want to go in my inbox and they want to teach me in private, teach me in secret, I'm like, okay, put your position out there. Just put it out there. I just want that to sink in a little bit, guys. Let us continue. Hosea. Let's go to Hosea chapter 7. We're going to go Hosea chapter 7. And when I get there, I'm going to start at verse 1. I'm going to start at verse 1. Now, Hosea 7, verse 1, it says this. When I would have healed Israel, then the iniquity of Ephraim was discovered, and the wickedness of Samaria. For they committed falsehood, and the thief cometh in, and the troop of robbers spoiled without. And they consider not in their hearts that I remember all their wickedness. Not their own doings have beset them about. They are before my face. They make the king glad with their wickedness and the princes with their lies. They're all adulterers, as an oven heated by the baker, who ceased from raising after he has kneaded the dough until it is leavened. In the day of the king, the princes have made him sick with bottles of wine. He stretched out his hand with scorners. For they have made ready their heart like an oven while they lie in wait. Their baker sleepeth all the night. In the morning it burneth as a flaming fire. They are all hot as an oven and have devoured their judges. All their kings are fallen. There is none among them that calleth unto me. Ephraim, he has mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned. Strangers have devoured his strength, and he knoweth not. Yea, gray hairs are here and there upon him, and yet he knoweth not. And the pride of Israel testifies to his face, and they do not return to the Lord their God, nor seek him for all this. Ephraim also is like a silly dove without heart. They call to Egypt, they go to Assyria. When they shall go, I will spread my net upon them. I will bring them down as the fowls of the heaven. I will chastise them as their congregation has heard. Woe unto them! For they have fled from me. Destruction unto them, because they have transgressed against me, though I have redeemed them. Yet they have spoken lies against me. Most High didn't sound very happy as to what Ephraim was out there doing. This, of course, when the kingdom split. They once called Ephraim for a while, for a period of time. So, rebellious. What is the Most High through the prophet Ezekiel? Not Ezekiel, Hosea. Excuse me. What is he talking about through the prophet Hosea? What is he saying? He's talking about rebellion. Rebellion from Ephraim. Rebellion that was in Ephraim. They just go their own way. Lazy. Dogs. Slow belly. Rebellious. They want nothing to do with the Most High. They run with the imagination of their own heart. That's what they do. They run after their own thoughts. Hosea. Brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters. Let me go ahead and look at it over here, and we are done with this particular lesson. Let's look at it over here. Hosea 7:1. Let's look at it from the scriptures, and then we are done. Okay? Whenever I could heal Israel, then the crookedness of Ephraim is uncovered, and the evil deeds of Shemaron. For they have wrought falsehood, and a thief comes in, and a band of robbers raids outside. And they do not say to their hearts that I remember all their evil. Now their own deeds have surrounded them. They have been before me. With their evil they make a sovereign glad, and rulers with their lies. And all of them are adulterers, as an oven heated by a baker who ceases stirring the fire after kneading the dough, until it is leavened. In the day of our sovereign rulers became sick, inflamed with wine, and he extended his hand with scoffers. See, they just deal evil upon evil, right? This is all of them wicked, dealing with each other, right? For they have drawn near, their heart is like an oven. While they lie in wait all the night, their bakers sleep. In the morning it burns like a flaming fire. All of them are as hot as ovens, and they consume their rulers. All their sovereigns have fallen. All their kings have fallen. Not one among them calls on me. So, right, that tells you right there, they're just rebellious, right? Ephraim mixes himself among the people. Ephraim has become a cake unturned, right? So, he mixes himself, meaning that, Ephraim is really going after other people, right? Other nations, right? And mixing in there, mingling with them, and they're cake unturned. Okay, some people use it to describe like their skin color, right? So like it's some of our I don't want to bring like a whole nation of people or whatever, but it's like a cake unturned, light skin, right? The short version. There's a whole long explanation, guys. I really don't want to get into right now. But I'm just talking about a cake unturned, right? So you have you bake a cake, or kind of think about a pancake, right? It's going on one side. Okay, so the bottom side on the pan, that part's getting darker or browner, we should say, right? And the top side is kind of light, right? It's like a cake unturned. I'm just trying to give you a mental picture there. 9, strangers have devoured his strength, but he does not know it, right? So Ephraim is getting weaker and weaker and weaker, right? And gray hairs are also sprinkled on him, and he does not know it, right? He's getting old, he's getting weaker, he's getting old, but he doesn't know it. And the excellency of Israel did witness to his face, but they did not return to Yah, their Elohim, nor did they seek him for all of this, right? Even though this was happening, they still didn't turn to the Most High Yah. And Ephraim has become a simple dove without heart. They have called on Mitzrayim. They have gone to Ashur. Too bad. When they go, I spread my net over them. I bring them down like the birds of the heavens. I chastise them as their congregation has heard. Woe unto them, for they have strayed from me. Destruction to them, because they have transgressed against me. And I myself have ransomed them, yet they have spoken falsehoods against me. Right? So I keep them from prospering and stuff like that. I'm trying to pull them back into the fold and all that, but they say falsehoods about me. They still rebel against me. They still do their own thing. They still go their own mind. They still do that. Brothers and sisters, we have got to make sure we don't have a hardened, rebellious heart. We have got to make sure that we are in right standing with the Most High Yah. We have got to make sure. We must make sure that we are not a rebellious people. We need to humble ourselves. We need to pray. We need to fast. We need to do whatever it takes to get in his will and to walk this thing out. This has been part 1 in Israel, a rebellious people, Scriptures version. I hope that you join me on part 2. But until next time, search the Scriptures and prove all things. Shalom, Israel.